The sun dipped low over the streets of Los Angeles, streaking the sky with molten gold and deep orange hues. Nathan Cole, a seasoned corporate attorney, navigated his sleek sedan through the early evening traffic, eager to leave the weight of legal briefs and negotiations behind. The soft hum of jazz played through the speakers, a small reprieve from the relentless pace of his day. Just as he slowed for a yellow light, the sharp wail of a siren sliced through the tranquility. Red and blue lights flashed in his rearview mirror. His grip on the wheel tightened. With a slow exhale, he signaled and pulled over, rolling down his window as the patrol car eased to a stop behind him. Officer Travis Monroe stepped out, his every movement exuding authority. Mid-30s, a sharp jawline, and eyes that scanned like a predator assessing its prey. He adjusted his belt as he approached, his badge gleaming under the waning sun. "License and registration," Monroe demanded, his voice clipped and businesslike. Nathan complied, his expression unreadable. He could feel Monroe's eyes on him, analyzing, judging. A beat passed before Monroe spoke again. "You didn't come to a full stop at that light." Nathan arched a brow. "I slowed down. Thought I had enough time." Monroe smirked. "You thought wrong." There was something unsettling in the way Monroe lingered, his stance shifting subtly, as if he had already decided this was more than a traffic violation. He glanced at Nathan's license and then back at him. "You from around here?" Nathan's lips thinned. "Moved here recently. My address is on the license." But Monroe wasn't interested in the details. His questions took on an edge, his scrutiny intensifying. "Step out of the car." Nathan's jaw tightened. "Is there a reason for that, officer?" Monroe's expression darkened. "I told you to step out." The unspoken threat hung between them. Nathan moved deliberately, exiting the car and standing tall. Monroe eyed him, noting the tailored suit, the composed demeanor. A man of status, but none of that mattered. "Hands on the hood." Nathan complied, his movements controlled. Monroe patted him down, his hands lingering a fraction too long, searching for something, anything, that could justify his growing aggression. "You seem pretty confident," Monroe muttered, stepping back, "like you think you know what's coming next." Nathan turned, locking eyes with him. "Confidence isn't the issue, officer. Respect is." Monroe's nostrils flared. "Watch your tone." "I'm only asking for transparency." Monroe's hand twitched near his holster. "You think you're smart, huh? Think you can talk your way out of this?" Nathan held his gaze. I think fairness should be a given." Monroe scoffed, stepping closer. "People like you always—" He stopped himself, but it was too late. The words were already in the air, thick with implication. Nathan's expression didn't waver, but something in his posture shifted, sharp and undeniable. "People like me?" he echoed, his voice quiet yet razor-edged. Monroe stepped back as if realizing, too late, that he had crossed a line he couldn't retreat from. Nathan exhaled and reached into his pocket. "I'm retrieving my badge," he said calmly, watching Monroe tense. He pulled out a leather wallet, flipping it open to reveal a gleaming insignia. "Nathan Cole," he said evenly, "Head of Internal Affairs." Monroe's face drained of color. "I investigate officers like you." Silence fell like a gavel in a courtroom. The weight of realization settled over Monroe, the authority he wielded slipping through his fingers. He swallowed hard, his hand drifting away from his belt. The balance of power had shifted irrevocably. Nathan leaned in slightly. "You never stopped to consider who you were talking to, officer. You just assumed I didn't matter." Monroe's lips parted, searching for words, but Nathan cut him off. "You're going to return my documents. Then you're going to hear from me again. Not as a man you pulled over, but as the one who decides whether you deserve to wear that badge." Monroe's hands trembled as he returned the license and registration. Nathan took them without a word, sliding back into his car. He started the engine, but paused, looking over his shoulder. "Remember this," he said, his voice steady. "The badge doesn't make you untouchable. It makes you accountable." As he drove away, Monroe stood frozen in the fading light, the gravity of his actions crushing down on him. The next morning, Nathan sat at his desk, Monroe's file open before him. It wasn't just about one officer. It was about a system that had allowed men like Monroe to thrive. But that was about to change. For too long, silence had enabled injustice. Nathan wasn't interested in silence anymore. This time, he was going to be loud.